If you're an artist and you see someone painting a copy of Lady Agnew, you know they are practicing and studying to become a better artist. Intentionally practicing has not always come easy to me. It's uncomfortable because it's like having tea with your imperfections. It's something I avoid but know I need to do. It's one reason why I moved into this tiny house on a farm in the country, to practice my art, and to figure out how to become a thriving artist I was born to be. I've been collecting raw footage of my journey for a while now, and I haven't really shared it. I think I was waiting until I had a definitive answer to that previous question of how to be a successful artist. Although I don't have the big answer yet, I do have a lot of the puzzle pieces, and I'd like to start sharing them with you. Hi, my name is Kendall, and for the last few years, I've been figuring out how to become a thriving full-time artist. I've spent a long time collecting passions and searching for purpose. I'm a painter and muralist, graphic designer, yoga teacher, Thai bodywork practitioner. I love to sing and write music, and I've tattooed. For me, art in whatever expression is like a doorway into the soul. Art gives life meaning, and it gives me purpose. In 2018, crazy, that was 7 years ago, I took a gap semester from school and traveled in Southeast Asia and Central America doing work trades. Hello, it's me, in the middle of nowhere. That's how I discovered mural painting and felt like a puzzle piece in my big question of how can I use art to uplift others. When I came home, I went back to school and I started painting murals here and there. In 2021, I decided to leave school and figure out how to be an artist out in the real world and explore my passions in a way that was authentic and exciting to me. So I spent the next few years doing just that. In the fall of my first year, I got my first paid mural. At the end of my first year, I did my first $10,000 mural and realized that I might actually be able to make it as an artist. A few months later, I got another $10,000 job, and at the end of that year, I went to Guatemala to do my yoga teacher training. My yoga teacher training was life-changing. It was at an off-grid permaculture community that is so near and dear to my heart, and I ended up going back there and living there for a few months, and it was such an expansive time, and I honestly had trouble integrating it when it was time for me to come back to the States. I came home and I was broke and had started accumulating credit card debt, but I was so full of all of these dreams that I had tapped into during that time, giving myself this space and the time and the freedom to really explore my dreams more. So I'm trying to figure out how to exist in the world, and was pretty frustrated at this point with how inconsistent work was as an artist. So, I don't know how to run a business or have anyone guiding me, but I had this newfound passion for healing arts and kind of started to dive into that more, and visual art took the back seat for a little bit as I explored the healing arts world and was teaching yoga and did my Thai bodywork training, and I let myself try on a lot of different hats. And I think as an artist who feels very multi-dimensional, I'll always have many different forms of self-expression, and I think that's important, And yeah, I was really just trying to figure out, what's gonna create a sustainable livelihood for me. During COVID, me and my sister had moved home and we ended up not leaving. So 2024 rolls around, but the time had come for us to move out of our family home and move on with our lives. This was honestly a tumultuous and ungrounded time for me because I didn't know where I wanted to go. I felt really lost and struggled to feel excited about anything in the future. I had this realization that wherever I go, I'm gonna have to deal with myself. So during this time of needing to ground, you know, I might as well stay in Georgia and figure some shit out. Because I had the privilege of living at home and not needing to pay rent, I had the ability to travel and work trade and live in communities and live in sort of a trading and gifting economy. So this time period was an initiation of sorts because it was time for me to pay rent and become more stable as an individual. Yeah, it was rough. And I just didn't feel excited about any of it, and I felt kind of like scared and worried about how I'm gonna live and survive. And so my boyfriend lived on this farm property, and we were going for a walk one day and we walked by this tiny house. I was like, oh, didn't know that was there. I asked him about it and he said that the property owners used to use it as an Airbnb and now they're not doing anything with it. So we asked him if I could clean it up and move in, and that was something that I actually felt excited about. They gave me a really good rate, and I've always had this little dream of living in a tiny house and living on a piece of land, having a space to call my own that I can ground into and work on my art, maybe plant a garden. That just aligned really well. I was really grateful for that. Right before all of this fell into place, this was last summer, I got my highest paying mural gig yet. So I went to Colorado and did that for 2 weeks, then came home and moved into the tiny house. But when I got home and the dust settled, everything in my life felt the same. I had just done this huge project and then I felt kind of back to square one. I was back in this cycle of not knowing where my next work or income was going to come from, and at this point I had more income streams with the yoga and the body work and everything, but even then, like, that wasn't consistent. That was the beginning of my breaking point of realizing that there's a way to create a stable and thriving art career, and I'm going to figure out how. I was tired of being in this cycle of high and low, getting money, running out of money, and being in survival mode, and that's really what this last year has been about for me. I think it's one thing to travel and have expansive experiences and explore your passions and all of these things that open up your horizons, but then at some point you have to figure out how to integrate it. And if my purpose in this life is being an artist, then I have to believe that the universe is going to support me in that, but I have to take the practical steps and do the grunt work to make it happen. I realized it was time to devote myself to my art and my business. Over the last few years, I was unsure if there was just one thing that I wanted to fully devote myself to, and this was the moment, say like fall of 2024, where I decided that I wanted to go all in on my mural business. I figured, you know, painting has been the one thing that's been with me from literally the very beginning, and painting murals is something that takes a lot of learned experience, and I'm already this far in, so why not just go all in on painting? And as fate will have it, moving into the tiny house meant I was more isolated from familiar places and faces. I didn't have as much to distract myself with. Thus began the year of locking in and really figuring my shit out as an adult and working artist. So there I was, like all other great artists seeking growth, painting a copy of Sergeant's Lady Agnew. The time had come to sit down and practice.